thank you. So yeah, like Mr. Holloway said, I went to Trinity College I started in 2008, graduated in 2014. Actually played on the basketball team, and psychology. I got a degree in psychology now, and I know you all are going through your journey. At the end of it, it's going to be a lot of decisions that you have to make. All of those decisions that you're making is going to have some kind of financial attachment to it. And so the goal of what I do at Suncoast is basically trying to take this weighty subject of financial literacy and bring it down to a place where we all can understand it, and we can figure out what we want to do with it and how we want to use our money to basically accomplish the goals that we're setting for ourselves. Because that's the main thing that money is you have a goal for yourself, and then how do I accomplish that goal that I'm setting for myself? So So on here it says basically your income does not determine how successful you are. It's your choices and priorities that do. And so basically there's 3 ways that we can make money. Who knows those 3 ways that we can make money? This is gonna be interactive. I know when I was going here, the chapels were like, they just talk at you. I'm not gonna just talk at you. We're gonna be a little interactive. I'm gonna ask you questions. If you can answer these questions when I'm asking them, so I'm not standing up here looking stupid just staring at you, because I do this, but I don't like talking. It's a weird kind of dynamic. So I'm gonna ask questions. If somebody think they have an answer or may have an answer, go ahead and throw it out there. But there's 3 ways that we can make money. What do we think those 3 ways are? Get a job, so your own labor. Entrepreneurship, yes. Inherited assets, yes. It has to deal with assets. So how do you get assets? What is your asset comprised of? It's in stocks. Somebody said investment. Who said it? Yeah, give them a round of applause. So yes, the 3 ways that we can make money. You can labor, so you can go and work for somebody. You can own a business, and somebody can work for you. So the first way, and the most low of the rung way, which most of us do, I work for Suncoast. So I work for them, I get paid. As I'm working for them, I'm getting them paid. They have 2,000 employees. So 2,000 people are getting them paid. So if I can make Suncoast $500,000 and they pay me whatever they pay me, and 2,000 people do that same thing, that business is ultimately making a lot more money than if it's just one person. The last way you can make money is investments. That's basically saying, I'm gonna put my money to work. My money is gonna help me make more money. And so whether you work for yourself, whether you work for a business, or whether you have people working for you, you can be an investor. You can put your money to work and make your money make money. We're gonna come back to that a little bit later, and we're gonna see how that looks. Because one of the things I wish I knew was how to make my money make money. Because when I was here in 2008, 2014, I started doing some of the stuff I'm doing now. You'll see when we get there, but like the numbers, it's just crazy. So we can move on. But as I'm talking, everything that we're talking about is going to be based on this. We're going to establish goals. I said it a little bit, but your money, all money does is help you get to your goal. That's literally it. It's a tool to help you get to what you're trying to do. You're trying to graduate school, it costs money. I have to pay money to come here, so that money helps me get to the goal of graduating or doing the things that I want to do. I need a car. I work to make money, to earn money, to purchase that car, to live in the place that I want to live, to live in the way that I want to live. So again, like I said, this is going to be interactive. What we're going to do now is go over what's called a SMART goal. I don't have my paper because I wasn't able to get it printed out, but we're going to just do it mentally. So we're going to work on some mental visualization. So basically, does anybody know what a SMART goal is?
Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based.
Yes. So specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. And so specific just means, instead of saying, I want to be in cybersecurity. Like, I want to work in cybersecurity for Microsoft 2 years after I graduated. So, like, it's very specific. Measurable means what is the thing, how am I measuring what it is that I want to do? Attainable, can I actually obtain this thing that I'm setting for? Or is it like, I want to fly? I'm sorry, unless you get in the airplane, you're not flying. And the other one was what? Relevant. So relevant, is it relevant to what you want to do? I like to say realistic, because like, is it something that can actually be done? But I also like to say we need to be a little delusional, because anybody can be realistic, right? I can say like, okay, yeah, I want to work for Suncoast. Okay, you don't even have to have a high school diploma. You just go, you sign, you fill out the application. I can work for Suncoast. But what do I want to do at Suncoast? Do I want to be over here in the youth outreach department? Do I want to eventually be CEO? What do I want to do? So what is it that you want to do? So we're going to be realistic. We're going to make it relevant, but we're going to have a little delusion as well. And then timely. What is the time frame? Do I want to do this tomorrow, in a year, 5 years, 10 years? What is the time frame that I want to do this? So graduate college, it could be done in 2 years or 4 years, depending. So I want to graduate from Trinity College with my BA in psychology in the next 3 years. That's a smart goal. So I'm gonna have you all think about, and give you like 30 seconds, it's gonna be quick because we gotta keep going. What are some goals that you have for yourself, or what do you feel like is the most important goal you have for yourself? We're gonna think about it, and we're gonna create a SMART goal in our mind. It's specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. Well, delusionally realistic. All right, so I'm gonna give y'all 30 seconds, and then we'll move forward. So who was able to create a SMART goal? Anybody want to share what they got? No? Were we even thinking about creating a SMART goal? Or are we just sitting here watching?
Yeah, I want to have my AA done in 2 years. That's my SMART goal.
Okay. Be done in 2 years with your AA?
With my AA.
And is it general studies AA or?
General studies to be on to the next step. I could make a plan to do 4 years after to get my bachelor's to be done with psychology, but instead I'm just trying to get done with my AA first. So even if there's a turn of events, then the goals aren't really.
Right, but the goal helps you determine how do we manage that turn of events. Yes. So, but that's a good SMART goal. My AA in the next 2 years, so that way I can figure out what I want to do with the years after that. All right. So now that we've determined where we are as far as our goals, when we have our finances, we want to determine where we are with our finances. How many of us have a job? Okay. How many of us know what our monthly income is? How many of us know what our monthly expenses are? Okay, so a lot less hands. So we know how much we're making, we just don't know how much we're spending. Okay, so we're doing a lot of Zelles, a lot of Cash Apps, a lot of Temu, Shein. Okay. Amazon, got the packages coming to the door, Target. All right, so basically what we need to do is figure out both. How much we got coming in and how much we got going out. Because that's gonna help us figure out what we're gonna do with that money left over. So the money left over, you can call it cash flow, you can call it discretionary income, but that's the money that helps you get to your goals. How many of us like shoes? Clothes. Okay, that's the money that helps you get to those things. Because now that you're in college, how many of us stay with our parents? Well, on the dorms, I guess. Well, now that you're in college, you have a little bit less bills than you're going to have when you hit the world out there living in your apartment or your house. So, do we know how much mortgage is? Like the average mortgage right now? 8. I wish. Between 25 to 3,000. The average rent is around 18 to 2,000. You're for rent? Okay. Listen. And that's how it is. There's this thing called inflation that happens. So by the time you all get into renting and owning, what's your name? Tracy's right now at 2,500. Inflation means that by the time you get there, it's probably gonna be 28. So that's why we're gonna get into the best way we said to make money was what? Invest, make your money make money. Because if you make money and you just put it in the bank, and I know I'm here on behalf of Suncoast, you get 0.25%. Just basically zero. But if you put it into something that can make you some more money, inflation usually grows at 3%, you wanna beat that. If you put it into something that makes you more money, then your money is making money while you're doing nothing. And we're gonna do an example of that shortly. But this is basically saying like your net worth, so that income that you have, minus all your debt, it equals your net worth. So if we hear somebody like Cardi B, her net worth is 80 million, that's what they're talking about. She has a house, she has a car, she has all these things, that's all debt. And then basically on the other side is all the money that she has coming in, whether that's from businesses, from rapping and doing all the stuff that she does. That 80 million is income minus all the debt. And so that's what we're trying to figure out, how much income we have and how much we have going out. So that's when we create our spending plan. A lot of y'all didn't raise your hand when we said expenses. How many of us have spending plans? Okay. So again, spending plan is just our income minus our expenses. When you have an income, usually we only have one income because most of us have jobs. How many of us are investing in something? Yourself? Yourself does count, but in the beginning, yourself, you're a liability. We're gonna get into that too. There's a lot of stuff we're gonna get into in the future. Right now, you're a liability because it costs to invest in yourself in the beginning. Doesn't mean it's not a good investment. It just means that you're spending money to become a better person. And then once you become that person that you're spending money to become, that investment is going to pay off in the end. So the ROI, which is return on investment, is a later return. So as I'm spending a lot of money to go to Trinity College, that investment that I'm putting in though on the back end when I get that job or when I start that business is that the knowledge that I got from Trinity College is going to propel me to be able to make more money on the back end. So my return is going to be greater than what I put in. And so yeah, we have our income coming in. So average or the median income, we're gonna give y'all a good amount because most people don't even make this, but we're gonna give y'all a good amount of money. So we're gonna say $70,000. We make $70,000. Now we have expenses. We only have a job because we're not investing, we don't have a hustle or side business. Just have that job, $70,000. $70,000 is roughly like $4,000 a month, $4,200 a month. So now we're gonna say $4,200 a month coming in. Now we have our expenses though. So what's going out? What's going out is our rent. We can say $2,500. So 4,200 minus 2,500, and we're at huh? Well, it'll be more. Yeah, 17 is 42. Yeah, 1,700. Now we have a car. Car payments are about.
They're about 600.
Oh, you got a good. You got a good one.
They're about $600.
You got a steal. Keep that one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, don't refund. Yes, keep that one because right now with high interest rates, when we get into credit, you'll learn a lot more about the interest rates and stuff like that. But with the interest rates and things like that, right now cars are around $600 to $700. So we were at 1,700. So now we're at 1,000. We haven't even bought groceries.
Or paid your bills.
Well, the health insurance. The good thing is you got a good job. Health insurance tied to that, so it's coming out. It's coming out. Yes, the car. Oh, but we didn't pay our car insurance.
That's about $300 a month.
That's another. So now we only got $700. We haven't even saved yet. Did we get that? Oh, y'all in college right now. So when you first get out of college, there's this lady called Sally Mae. She wants her money, and she wants it now. Y'all ever saw that commercial? It's like, it's my money and I want it now. That's Sally Mae. She want her money. So now you have to pay that. And the thing about that is you can get on a payment plan because, you know, we making money, but we not really making money. So we'll get on this payment plan, but it's $50 a month. So we paying $50 a month. We were at, what were we at? 700. See, this is why we need a spending and savings plan because I don't even remember. So we're at 700. We just put $50, so it's $650. Is that the only debt we have?
Cell phones and internet.
Hold on, that's a cheap student loan payment right there.
Yeah, I mean, cause they're on the spending plan, low.
Oh, okay,
income.
okay. I was gonna say it's like 300.
yeah. We trying to help. So now, are y'all gonna eat?
Hope you like ramen.
We need to eat food. I mean, we gonna say y'all, but it's still you by yourself, so you don't have to worry about a family necessarily, like some of us. But right now, we at $650. We're gonna say like for the month, it's another $200, $250 for groceries.
It's like 300.
If you like. We're saying just one person.
Yeah, like 300 for one person.
That's just groceries. So
And I
now
own a
we
house.
this is just the beginning. It'll get better as we go along. I just want y'all to see where we at. That initial shock is always good to have because the reality of it is like when I graduated Trinity, I was like, oh, we gonna go get a job. It's gonna be like this. It wasn't. I went out to try to get a job. They was like, yeah, you don't have experience, so we don't. It's like $15 an hour. Like, yeah, but I was just in college for 4 years. Yeah, but that don't even really matter like that. We need some experience. So the goal is to get you, if you have that initial shock now, then maybe you'll listen to the next when we get to the end. Because some of the stuff that y'all are able to do with your money now when you don't have all of the bills will go a lot further when you start to get those bills. You want to set those habits now. Because if you set those habits now, they stick faster. The longer you do something, the better you get at it. Because even now with me, I started a little bit later. So when it comes to saving, it'd be like, yeah, but then with shoes on that, yeah, I might have to. Or my wife will be like, yeah, but we need. I'm like, yeah, but the budget says, yeah, but we need. And we got to have that conversation. So a lot of times it's like starting the process earlier allows you to be able to even speak to yourself and have that conversation, but also speak to your significant other or whoever it is about the conversation so that way y'all can be on the same page.
And with rentals, you can pay security deposit and usually the front end of.
You trying to take all y'all money. I'm trying to leave y'all with something. Because we still haven't even saved yet. And we had, we said 250, so we already at. We're only at we got $400. I was trying to leave y'all with something. She's trying to take all of the money that y'all got. You haven't even went out and enjoyed yourself. I know y'all in college, you like enjoying yourself. You know, go to a little movie or something. That hasn't even happened yet. All right. So now that we set up our budget though, we set up our spending and saving plans, we know what our means is. But our means, what we always want to do is tread back to the initial thing that we said our goal was. So anytime we have anything that comes in front of us financially, and we have this decision to make, do I take the red or the blue pill? Do I say yes or do I say no to it? I go back to my goal. What is my goal? So if the goal is, and there's no wrong goals, it's your goal for your life. If the goal is to get fly, to get the Jordans, to get the Birkin, then my thing is gonna say, I'm gonna spend this money, yes. If the goal is, I wanna have a house in a certain amount of time, I wanna, I wanna go traveling, or I want to be able to go to college and get a higher level of education, then maybe I'm not going to be able to purchase those shoes. I'm gonna have to say no to it. But saying no doesn't mean that I'm not getting the thing I want, because I'm still getting the thing I want. The thing I want is the goal that I set. So we have to look at money a little bit differently. It's not that we can't just spend our money, but we set a goal to tell us how to spend our money. So now my means is based on the goal that I've set. So if I set a goal to, again, have a certain amount of money when I'm retired, then that's how I should spend or save my money. If I set a goal to live a certain type of lifestyle, then that's how I should spend or save my money. So we're gonna let the goal tell us how to spend or save, and if we're spending or saving incorrectly, rather than saying, because I bought this item, I'm doing it incorrect, because I might like coffee. Buying coffee is not a bad thing. Buying shoes is not a bad thing. Buying a new shirt or whatever it is, it's not a bad thing. Does it fit within the goal that we set for ourselves initially? If it does, then that's what our money is used for. If it doesn't, then we have to make another decision. And that's where discipline comes in. Sometimes I have to say no to my desires to get the thing that I ultimately desire. All right. Again, so now that we're here, this is something like this is a budgeting thing, a tool that we want to use. Right now with how the economy is, it's a lot harder. But the benefit of this is it gives you a trajectory. So like when I'm graduating college, how much money do I need to make in order to hit certain goals? Because what this says is, if I have 100% of my income and 35% goes to housing, then I'm in a good mark. If it's 20, then I'm even better. 15% goes to transportation, so that's that car, it's better. 15% in debt, then we're good. Once you start going over that, you're in a bad spot. So remember the scenario, we started with $4,200. Our rent was $2,500. It's like 60%. So we started out in a bad spot. It doesn't matter how much anything else costs, we're in a bad spot because we're already spending almost double what we're supposed to be spending. So now, as a college student, you're like, okay, what am I going to be doing next? Where am I going to be living? All of these things. So now I can say, if rent is $2,500, for that to be 35%, I need to be making, okay, so I need to try to make at least $90,000 to $100,000. So that lets me know what I need to make in order to live at a, not even comfortable, but at a good rate, and not have to struggle, not have to live paycheck to paycheck. So that's what these numbers say. If I'm at 35%, I'm doing well. If I'm at 10% savings, I'm doing good. If I'm at 15%, well, savings, we can fluctuate. How much do we have left over, and how much can we put to savings? So these numbers we just want to focus on, especially before we start accumulating bills, making sure that when we look at what we're trying to do next, we're making sure that they hit in these points. I have to buy housing, I'm gonna hit that point. I have to have transportation. There's a study by a guy named Dave Ramsey that says the biggest expense that caused the middle class to move into the lower class is, well, what do you think it is? You right here, what did you say? Transportation. So car payment. Yeah, if I make $4,200 and my car payment is $700 and then my insurance is another $300, that's a lot of money. That's keeping me in the rate I am or pushing me back down, because now I have all of that debt. That money could have been going to either saving, investing, or living the lifestyle that I'm trying to live. And so when we're creating expenses, we want to make sure that that expense fits what? The goal. The goal, yes. All right. All right, so now that we have an understanding, we saw it save 10%, we have an understanding of like our chart of how much we're going to be putting our income towards certain things. The next thing we want to do is figure out how much we're going to be saving and when we're going to be saving and why. So it says save at least 10% of your income. Why do we think that's important? Emergencies. Why else? Your goals, yes. Retirement, yes. No wrong answers. Kids, yes. So there's no wrong answers. Whatever you're saving for is what you're saving for. Again, it's your goals, it's your money. Whatever you want to save for, you're saving for. But if you don't have a savings, then you can't do some of these things. So what do we think is the amount that most Americans have saved? Zero. It's a little bit higher. $5,000? Far lower. Far lower. 500. So we'll get into percentages after we give a number. You said 500? 400. So between 4 and 500. Most Americans have between 4 and 500 saved. That is one brake job. That is a tire rotation. That is your battery went dead. So why are we saying we're just saving for those emergencies? We're saving for certain things. So 35% of the American population does not have $1,000 saved. So if we have an emergency, we have too many emergencies that pop up at one time, we're donezo. We gotta go get debt. And do we think debt is income or expense? It's an expense. Yeah, I got this $5,000, but now I have to pay them back each month. So that's what happens. So that's why we want to make sure we're putting at least 10%. If we can't put 10% because inflation is happening, we can put whatever we can put. All right, so, and this kind of shows that we're saving for emergency fund debt repayment. So emergency fund, that's going to be 6 to 9 months of our expenses. So how much do we have in expenses? We're trying to save at least 6 months of that. That way, if something crazy happens like the pandemic and you're at work and you're me and you get let go because the pandemic happened and they're firing people, you have 6 to 9 months of expenses. This literally happened to me, like literally, I was working at a place, they said, hey, we can't do it no more. I said, but I need it. They said, we ain't got it. I had to figure it out. Luckily, I was able to supplement. I had 6 to 9 months of savings, and then I was able to go on unemployment, and I was able to make it until I started working at Suncoast. I didn't know it was a blessing in disguise, because if not, I would be still working at that place and I would still be miserable. But it was, if I didn't have 6 to 9 months, we wouldn't have been able to pay rent. And then I had a daughter at the time. We would have been struggling. And so that's why we keep an emergency fund, because if something happens in that manner that's crazy, we gotta make sure that we have the money. Also, we're setting our goals. We might have a car already. What do we want to do with the car? Or do we want a house? Do we want to? So what is the 2 to 5 year goal that we have? And then we're saving for the future. It's not always about saving for the future. A lot of people are just, hey, retirement. Again, some of these shoes that are out here now, they cost like $250. I could save for that because I know when the drop is coming. They tell me, hey, these Jordans are gonna come out in a month and a half. So if I take 3 paychecks and pay for it, that's better than taking that 1 check and paying for it. So let's save for these things that we want now as well. I want to go on this vacation. How much is the vacation? Calculate, divide by 12. Y'all in school, y'all know how to do that. But that's what we got to do. Figure out how much do I need to spend how much do I need to save in order to get the thing that I need to get. And let me start saving a little bit earlier so that way I don't put a whole paycheck on a vacation or on some shoes or on whatever it is, and now I have to struggle to the next one. And that's what's called living paycheck to paycheck, because every time something comes up, Beyonce concert, and now I can't pay my bills because she charged $900 or whatever it is. So we got to make sure that we're paying ourselves first. When I make money, I pay me because I just put in the time. Because I mean, Tico's gonna come for theirs. The light bill, the rent, the mortgage, they gonna come for theirs. Sally Mae is coming. She's coming, whether you're alive or whether you're deceased, she's coming. And she wants hers. So you have to pay all of these people, you might as well pay yourself. So We have to save. We could. That was big. And so now I know when I was in here, they usually said, don't pull out your cell phones because you're paying attention. But right now, pulling out your cell phone is paying attention. So do me a favor, pull out your cell phone. We're gonna go to Google. I don't know how to. We go to Google and we're gonna type in investment calculator. And then what we're doing now is just gonna explain what's up here. So basically it's just saying kind of what I was saying earlier, the power of time. The faster you start doing something, the better. So we're gonna just put in some numbers and we'll see how it looks. So when you look up investment calculator, we're gonna go to Nerd Wallet. And then on Nerd Wallet calculator, I'm gonna need some help because the first thing it says is initial deposit. So listen, we were disciplined. We saved up $1,000. So in the initial deposit, we're gonna put $1,000. And then the next thing says contribution amount. So this is where it's gonna get tricky. So now we're gonna put $216. And this is a specific number, and there's a reason why I'm saying it. All right, what's next? Frequency, so we're gonna say monthly. Years of growth. All right, so years of growth, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna say years of growth. This is somebody that's 45, and they're like, I'm about to retire in 20 years, but I wanna start because I didn't start before. So we're gonna say 20 years. And then what's after that? Estimated rate of return. So now this right here is where we're gonna do 2. And so the first one we're gonna do is 0.25. So this is what happens if you leave your money in the bank. And then what's after? Is there compound frequency is annually. And then calculate. And what's the number? Say it aloud. So 54,000. 54,000?
Yeah.
Over 20 years. Okay. Now let's go back to, we're gonna remember that number, go back to the rate of return, and let's put 10%. All right, what's the number? 161,871. So you literally doubled your money simply by saying, I'm not gonna just leave it in the bank, and I'm gonna put it into something that makes a little bit more money. And there's like the S&P 500. There's people that you can sit down with and talk to. Hey, how do I make my money make money? Literally, all I did was take this and put it over here. And that number is based on like somebody that makes $15 an hour. So if you make $15 an hour, the amount of money you have left over if you're paying certain bills could be up to $216. So this is the next thing we're gonna do. It says harness the power of time. We're gonna go back up and say that we only contributed $100. At that same 10%, but now we contributed it for 50 years, because some of you are like 18 to 20. So we have a lot more time. How much does it say now? 1.57. And how much did you contribute? So because you started sooner, you were able to contribute a lot less, $100 less, and make a lot more. And so that's the power of time. So this is something I wish I knew, because when I was in college, I had that extra. I was working, the class over there was called Epiphanies. It was like a little coffee shop, I think. I don't know how it looks now, but I was working in there, and I was making my little, it was a lot less, it was like $12. But I was making that, but I didn't have bills. It was literally just, I have a lot of student loans. Sally Mae she be coming. But I was making a lot. I was making a lot for what I was doing. I had a lot of money that I could spend. And I was at Applebee's up the street. I was at Chili's. I was spending it in places that, I could have still went. I could have just budgeted. Okay, we're gonna spend $30 this week going out to food. We're gonna spend 15 for, we're gonna spend 30 for whatever else, and then we're gonna put some away for the future. $100 a month can get you that. Even if you save $10 for the next 50 years, it won't be that, but it'll still probably be, like somebody put $10 a month for 50 years at the same rate. $26,000. So you're making almost the same amount, half of what the person that was saving $216 at for 20 years. So literally, even $10. So starting now and doing a little, 263. Oh, so you're actually making more. So starting now and even putting $10 away in an account for 50 years, $263,000. So even doing a little, it's saying like, okay, I might not have the 100, I might not have the 216, but I have 10, I could put that away, and over time, I can get to where I wanna go. But listen, you all are gonna graduate, you're gonna get out into the workforce, you're gonna have your percentages correct, so that way you're making sure you're spending only 35% on your house, only 15% on the car. Now I can save what I wanna save. So I can actually save $300, I can save $400, and now imagine going from saving that $10 for the next 4 years, and now I'm doing at $50, $100, $500. You're setting yourself up so that when you're in your later years, you can choose if you want to go and work rather than having to go and work. And we talked about this, deleting your debt. Literally, debt is not income, it's an expense. It takes away from you being able to do what you want to do, unless it is something that you want to do, like owning a home, buying a car. You have to get to work, so that's debt we need. A home, we need somewhere to stay, so we have to go into debt sometimes to do certain things. But if it's not getting you to your goal, we stay away from it, including debt. Or if you're trying to build a business, you can use debt to build that business. Then we got to talk about interest and what is the rate of return. Am I paying more in interest on my debt than I actually make it? So if I got debt and I have to pay $500 a month and I'm starting a business, the goal is to make $700 to $1,000 a month. So I could pay this debt and actually have some profit. So if the debt is beneficial, then we go into debt. If it's not beneficial, then we run away from it. And we talked about this, assets versus liabilities. So your assets minus your liabilities is your net worth, how much you have coming in versus how much you owe, that's your net worth. So what we want to do is learn how to build assets. Again, we put money into ourselves while we're liabilities, so that way we can become an asset. The amount of knowledge that you have, the things that you're doing, it puts you in a position to be able to leverage your own value to then be able to get paid from it. Question, what do we think is the highest form? What do we think is more important, value or money? Value? Like say you have a business, you're trying to start a business, and you're trying to do it, and you say, okay, what do I need right now in this moment? Do I need to be able to add value, or do I need to be able to make money? What do you think is more important? Make money? Make money? Make money? So we know Amazon, we all use it. Amazon was, for the first 20 years, did not make any money. What it did was it brought value. So it was actually millions of dollars in debt for the first 20 years. But what it was able to do was say, okay, we're working towards something that's valuable for all people, and eventually we're gonna be almost $1 trillion company. So for 20 years, Amazon was funded by other people to stay afloat because it was always in debt. But if I can give you enough value, then you're going to be willing to pay me for it. Again, the reason why we wear the shoes we wear, the reason why we wear the clothes we wear, that we drive the car we drive, we talk the way we talk, is because it gives us value. It makes us feel something. So you as a person, as an individual, if you can bring value, if you can make somebody feel something, they'll be willing to pay you for it. And in that, you can then earn whatever amount you feel like you need to earn. You get to set the standards. You get to negotiate. But if we lead with money, we don't understand our value. So lead with value. Figure out what skills you have, what ways I can develop myself. How can I take myself from being a liability to an asset? And then how can I leverage this asset to benefit other people? And then in benefiting other people, how can I leverage that to earn money and earn income? That's what your professors do. They have knowledge, they have skills, they have understanding, and they trade that to get paid from Trinity College to teach you all how to do the same. So what is it that you have? What skill do I have? I'm a basketball player. How can I take these skills of discipline, hard work, all of these things, and leverage that to become great at it? Be a basketball player, or to pivot that into a business. Because in business, you need hard work, you need dedication, you need to be able to overcome obstacles. You learn that, and that's what you learn in college, getting those papers done, sometimes at the last minute. You're learning how to do some of these things that you have to do in the real world. And when you do them, how do I do them at the highest level so that I can get paid at the highest level? All right, and then buying a home, this goes back into a lot of the stuff that we talked about. Basically, just understanding it helps you have tax breaks. You have to understand building your credit score now. And then home ownership is not for everyone. But if it's for you, making sure that you understand the ins and outs of what's happening. Usually when you go into debt, you're paying more than what that sticker price says. So if you buy a car for $40,000, you're actually, depending on your credit